Good morning. Happy Saturday. Fully committed. May your heart be fully committed to the Lord our God, to live by his decrees and obey his commands as at this time. 1 Kings 8:61. First, we need to probably figure out what being committed means. It means feeling dedication and a loyalty to a cause, activity, or a job. Just anything you wholeheartedly dedicate yourself to. That would be something you're committed to. It also can mean being loyal and willing to give your time and energy to something that you believe in, to carry into action, to do something deliberately with a purpose. The act of commitment or committing is pledging or engaging yourself. It can mean all of that. The act of you actually committing to something, you pledging yourself to do it and regularly do it and be faithful in doing it, or engaging yourself. The call for a perfect heart indicates a desire to integrity and faithfulness to God, which would echo the theme of wholehearted obedience that's found throughout the Bible. So this wholeheartedly would be that something that's talked about many times in the Bible, being wholehearted obedience. It's found in the Bible many times, many places. Do you express commitment, a committed heart towards God? What does it mean to devote your heart to God? It means surrounding your life or surrendering your life to him, trusting him to lead you in the right direction. It means trusting him to provide for you and to guide you in all aspects of your life. Is your heart fully committed to God, or are other loves claiming your devotion? If your heart is truly been given to God, then you will naturally follow his commands with your life. To be committed to someone is to be driven by a desire to please them, to give them the best or your best, because your own love demands it of you. And we know that when we're, just an example of relationships, when we're in committed relationships, we are so devoted and dedicated generally to these relationships. So in that instance, when you go into a relationship wanting to be fully committed, that's what God is asking of us, to be fully committed in him. Regularly examine your heart to evaluate whether or not your full commitment lies with God, or if you are allowing your heart to become distracted by another love. What are some other loves that can distract you from God? There are a number of things. What are the things that could threaten your devotion to God? Again, a number of things. I'll just talk about a couple. Money. That can be something that can threaten your devotion to God. While we need money to live in the world, we must not be owned by it. Money itself is not the interference. It's the love of money, wanting it at all costs, no matter what. That's true in our world today. There's so much greed everywhere. Everything is like money, money, money. Give me more. I want more. I don't care if you don't have. So what else could threaten your devotion? this one I had to think about. Media. Now, that's a big distraction for me too. Whether it's the internet, TV, movies, music videos, games, getting caught up in social media, that can be a very big distraction. We could find ourselves devoting so much time to these things that we don't have time to be fully devoted to God. Sometimes these things will pull you away from your purpose. You have good intentions, but you're distracted by all these other things. Church. Oh, I said it. Church. I know y'all's eyes got big here, but seriously, it's not intentional, but we can easily let it hinder our relationship with God. How? One main way is that you are so easy or eager to pursue church and beliefs about God, but forget to pursue God Himself. At times, people feel the need to pretend to be perfect at church, because we know that to show weakness and struggles will become outcasts. So you pretend to be something that you're not. You pretend to be so strong even when you're not. So many people keep on this image. They carry on with this like it's in a glass house, not wanting to reveal their weakness. Because what would happen? It's happened many times. They feel that they would be looked down on. And in a situation where others are not in the church for the right reason, this could possibly be true. We just hope that we pick a place or church that is not just living for outward appearances and all that kind of thing, because we all, can fall at any time. Relationships. Friends, siblings, spouses, girlfriend, boyfriends, children, co-workers, bosses. A number of things can threaten the devotion to God. Now, it's not intentional that it would happen, but you could allow these relationships to distract you from God, that they become more important to us than God. Anything that happens like that is a distraction. What about routine? Now that sounds funny, but routine can threaten our devotion to God as well. What if we're allowing ourselves to do so many other routines that it takes time away from our routine with God? We find ourselves squeezing God in. If I have time, I'm going to go to church. If I can make it, I'll make it to the Wednesday night meeting. It's like you're squeezing something in. None of us want to feel like somebody's squeezing us in. Imagine how God would feel if that's what we're doing to Him. So the thing that we need to do is to be consistent in prayer, be consistent speaking about the Bible and worshiping Him. You have to develop a routine with God as well as other routines that we have. You definitely have to work on your routine with God. Other things that can be a distraction would be work. It could be hobbies. Any one of those can take so much time away from you that you just don't have the time to commit to living a life that would be fully devoted to God. You could start moving up the ladder at work and said, oh, well, you know, God knows my heart. We love to say that one. God knows my heart. He does. He does. Keep going with that one, because he does. These are just a few examples of other loves that can distract us from our devotion to God. And while it's nice to have other hobbies, let's not be distracted from our being fully committed to God. Fully committed. Are you fully committed? Are you working on being fully committed? I think there's room for all of us to work on stuff like that. Anyway, hey, y'all know today is Saturday. Oh, last night, I told y'all that the neighborhood that I'm in, they have a little social group. It's called the Women of the Groves. And what we do is get together once a month at someone's house in the neighborhood. When I tell you, I'm going to share pictures with y'all later today. It was such a beautiful time. It was a Galentine event, you know, and these women have relationships and husbands and boyfriends and all that. But it's good to kick it with your girls sometimes. So anyway, that's what I did. I was kicking it last night. Y'all should have saw me. I was kicking it. Kicking it. Okay, focus. Today is my good friend's birthday. So I'm going to get up and head over to her house. Have coffee, because that's our thing. We do the coffee thing. And I'm going to take her to lunch somewhere. We don't go a lot of places, but we like to eat at nice places. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take her for a nice brunch somewhere and just kind of free our minds and laugh and joke about whatever it is we can find to laugh and joke about. This is the friend that recently, within the last year or so, lost her husband. Now, they were together maybe 50 years. It's a ridiculous number of years. But they were together a long time. And I say ridiculous, joking, okay? But they had such a good relationship. I mean, it wasn't just sugar and spice and everything nice all the time. But hey, they made it to 50 years plus, so they were doing something right. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to just do whatever I can do to brighten up my day, brighten up somebody else's day. Why don't y'all do the same? And remember, if you don't get nobody else, you better get your mama.